Hey yo, what's up guys? It's your boy 10 your Scene 1 and today I am back with yet another tutorial. It's been quite a while, it's been months in fact, and I really apologize for that. I got busy with stuff and I was really struggling to manage stuff. Things were all over the place and I'm finally trying to get things back on road or online. I don't know what I just said by the way. But yeah, let's get right on to the project. Before I continue with this, I like to talk about some things. There's a game called VR Chat. You might have heard of it with all the Knuckles memes spreading all over the internet. Blah blah. Blah. I've been playing it for a couple months now, and I would like to know if you guys are interested in lessons inside of that game. So perhaps it's more of like maybe a meeting of sorts, maybe a discussion of sorts, where we can just gather around and talk about stuff. So let me know if you guys are. We can gather there, do some stuff, all that. You can join my Discord, and from there on, we can start, like create a separate world, or just go to the presentation room, blah, blah, all that kind of stuff. So let me know if you guys are interested. Without any further ado, let's get started. Actually, wait, no, cut that. Right, before we start, I would like to show you what we're going to cover today. We're going to cover something called it's called OnPhotonSerializeView. Basically, it is something like it's a method which allows you to sync stuff. So you can sync variables over networks. So almost all sorts of data types. You can break them down. You can sync them. You can send them over network and receive them over network. It's really useful for things like health, for example. For example, now in this game, I've got two clients open up here. As you can see, I'm the left dude, and this guy, the guy who's in front of me, can see me on the right side. This is that kind of guy's client, right? So over each character it says the health. So if I press the E key, the health is reduced by 5. So the person I am right now. Okay, I'm gonna press the E key, and you can see my health is reduced by 5 on the other client. You can just see that it's reduced by 5. And if I keep pressing the E key, it keeps reducing, right? And if I go there and I do the same thing, I press the E key, you can see now the other clients, and now this one's health is being reduced. So basically, this is just we're syncing the variable over network. We're not going to cover the UI in this tutorial. Okay, I'll see if I can just drop down the script so you can just test it out quickly or something. But anyhow, we're just going to cover this basic stuff. So I'm going to cover how we can really network it, and we can just get things connected. So let's get started, shall we? Right. So let's jump right into Unity, and so here we are in Unity, and I did made a completed version of it. So I separated the code for the completed version and the one which we're actually going to work on. So the completed version has a player UI script as well. It's just a basic script. I will not be showing you guys how to actually use that or change stuff, but yeah, I will be showing you how things work. And how you can actually see the health changing just in the editor, however, but I will be showing you that how that it's actually working, but without UI, unfortunately. So let's jump right into the player script. So nothing's changed so far. We just got the exact same thing. I might have commented the code a little bit. Actually, I don't think I've done anything to that, but yeah. So this is the basic code which we left off with earlier, just something which disables the camera, the scripts for the other non-local player, blah, blah, blah. Just a quick recap in case you guys have forgotten. So let's go ahead and let's actually start right away with our method. Yeah, so the method which we're going to start off with is going to be something, it's going to call it something like, you can call it private or public, so void, it's called OnPhotonView serialize, which kind of doesn't pop up for some reason. Serialize. I don't know if I'm spelling that right. And it has two, you can say, variables or parameters which it requires, two types of, which is one's called Photon stream, which is usually you just call it stream. It doesn't matter. It's just we're just declaring the name. I'm just not gonna go into the extreme basics. So Photon message info, which we're just going to call info. So it has two parameters which it requires. This is a method which is called through the Photon view component which we added earlier. Remember we observed the, so if I click on it, the photon view, we did not do that, right? So we had it like this, right? So whatever is observed here, it's going to call the OnPhotonView serialize automatically on that observed component or script. So here, this is the main method. This is the method which actually allows us to send and receive data. So let's see how we can actually do that. Before we do that, let's go ahead and create a variable called held. So just going to call it a public int held. So this is just something we can look into the expector. Or maybe I should just call it player held because it feels too lonely. I don't know. I mean, we're just going to have held ever, but I don't know. It felt lonely,
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
So, right. And once we're done with that, we have held, which we're just going to initialize by 100. So it's 100 by default. And here we're just gonna start off right away with sending data. So we want to send this held, right? Now, before we do jump into that, even there's something in the photon view which I want to discuss. Something called observe option. An observe option has 3 types, as you might have seen. I'm not quite familiar with all the types, but I'll try to explain them as best as possible. The unreliable and change is basically something which is gonna send the data, right? And what it's going to do, it's only going to send the data when it's actually changed. So that's really convenient. Okay, really, really good, right? However, it's unreliable. So what's going to happen is that there's a decent chance that the data could be lost. So the network package is just going to send some of it. It could be lost. So it's okay for this, however, because it's okay for fast-paced games like FPS shooters, for example, where there's a lot of action going on. Even if a little bit of data is lost, it's not a big of a problem, right? So it's fine in that case, and it's only sending when it's changed, so it's better. It's not unnecessarily using your network's bandwidth and just sending data all again and again. However, in some cases you might want to send data continuously. In that case, you would just go to unreliable, which is just going to send data always. And then there's reliable data compress, which is more of a, delta compress, I'm sorry, which is more of a sending data, and each and every single package must be received. However, it's much slower because it's going to send everything. It's going to make sure data is not corrupted, data is not destroyed, it's being sent properly, right? It's not lost anywhere on the lines or something. So that's the best for more of a low, more of a strategy-based games, I suppose, yeah. So, yeah, I really can't speak. I'm sorry. As always, I can't speak. Right, so let's jump back into Unity, and let's start by actually writing stuff, right? So, not enough of talking, right? People have been complaining I talk too much. So, let's see. So, to actually check if we are sending or receiving data, we should use something simple called if stream, that is writing. This basically means that, imagine like a stream, like a data stream, right? So it goes like in a wave or something, or anything like a stream, like a 1 circle, 2 circle, like circles, okay? Whatever you can call it. Those are pieces of data, right? And that is a stream, and we're checking if we're actually writing to that stream. We're actually adding a new circle, adding new data to that collection of data, right? And this basically means if we want to actually send something over network. So are we trying to write something over network, send it over network? If we are, we put that here. What are we trying to send over network? Now the thing goes really simple here. We just write something like stream.send next. Pretty basic, right? And we send our data. And in this case, we want to actually send the player held. So we're just going to write player held here. That's it. So now we're sending player held over network. Send data. I just suppose we should just put that here, right? Pretty simple stuff, right? And then we have else if. Okay, wait, that's not right. I don't know why it didn't wrote that. Okay, stream.isReading. So otherwise, are we reading the data? Are we actually receiving that stream of data which was sent to us earlier, and we're actually reading from it? So once we were done reading from it, we actually want to apply it. Imagine like, reading from a book, and you're applying that knowledge to your practical life, something like that. And, in some cases you might be writing a book, and the other person reads from it and gets that knowledge, that data, right? Something similar to that. Really boring examples, I'm sorry. I need to be more creative. But, yeah, I'll try to really step up my example creativeness. Anyway, so to receive the data, what you do simply, you say like player held. So you're picking the variable. This is like if the player is non-local to the other player. So we're playing, right? The other player's health changed, not ours. The other player's health changed, and we wanna update it. So we received his health, we received the data, but we're not doing anything with it. So what we're gonna do now is we're actually gonna change it. So we're gonna update. So for example, the other player's health was 80, right? On our side, it will still be 100 until we actually apply to him. Remember, we have a local copy of the other player, right? We're not actually getting the entire copy from the network, right? We just got one copy which was locally stored. We just made another copy just similar to ours, and we're making sure we're not controlling that copy, okay? And all the data whatever that player is doing, we're just applying that directly to that copy. So to apply, the health to that copy, we just go and say something like stream.receive data. Sorry, receive next. And aha!
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
That's a terrible reaction. We have an error, so it says that you cannot convert type object to int, so integer. So what we're doing, player health is an integer, remember, but when we send, we can send literally any type of object, almost any type of object. So object is could be any data type, right? So object, we're sending an object. However, what's happening is player int basically can say its base is an object, but it itself is an integer. So when we're applying it, we cannot apply an object to an integer, so we got to convert it to an integer, right? I'm really stretching out the explanation. So simply to do that, we just add int there, and now we're casting it, converting it. It's not an exact conversion. This is not normally how you would convert things, as in, for example, string to integer, but this is how you would convert things in most cases, in some cases at least. So, simpler cases such as this. So we're casting the data type to an integer type. Now, basically everything is done. We're done with sending and receiving data, which I can't write type receive receiving data. Okay. Right, so we're sending data, we're receiving data, everything's done, we're done. That's it, that's all there is to it. Let's go back into Unity, and there's one more thing which we need to do before actually finishing this up, and that is to actually call this method. Now remember what I said before, to call this method you need to actually add the observed component, so I need to put this player network into the observed component thingy. So just to do that, I just click on the plus sign there, I drag and drop this here, and voila, boom, we're done. We can just simply build the game and test it out right away. Let's do that. Let's build the game. Just a Control B is the build shortcut key, by the way. So let's see. There we go. Okay, we can just run that here, and I will probably switch to the editor here, right? So you can actually see how things are. That's probably connecting. Okay, just do that. Right, so now we've just jumped in, and it says something. It gives an error. Observed mode does not implement on serialize.
We interrupt this program to bring you Courage, the Cowardly Dog Show.
Right, so I cut that part out, let's just say, and yeah, because I was having trouble with updating. Basically, it's called OnPhotonSerializeView. I don't know why I wrote OnPhotonView serialize. I was saying OnPhotonSerializeView, but I just wrote something entirely different. So that was giving me an error. That's fine. I fixed that. Before we get into it, we need to actually add a new function, a new method, so we can change the health. So I'm going to call this method. Let's call it void update. So we're just going to call it update, and we're gonna say, so if you press a button, so if you press input get key down, key code .e. So if you press the E key, we want to subtract our own health for now, just for now, okay? So we're going to subtract our own health by 5, right? Simple as that, right? But we only want to do that if it's local. Remember, we have the local copy of the other player as well. So we press the E key, his health will be updating for us as well. So we want to make sure this is only happening if we are pressing the button, and we're doing stuff. So we can just say that if it is not our character, our view, then we're just not going to continue executing this code. We're going to skip this code, right? And that's about it, right? Tucked held by 5, and don't execute, or let's just say, oh god, only execute locally. Right, let's go back and let's do it right away, right? sorry, I really messed up today. I was trying to kind of get things going with that weird stuff, but yeah, okay. I'm up to making videos today. I'm kind of excited, to be honest. It's been a while. I've been dying to make a video. It feels good to just, you know, make tutorials. Anyway, so enough of the chit chat, I suppose. Let's go ahead. So we've done the syncing. Each time we press the E key, we should be deducting health. So I just put that in the update method. I'm just building the game, make a fresh copy out of it. Let's put this in the corner there, and let us go and see for ourselves as to what's happening. So right there we go. Okay, great. So I'm gonna see. So to check the copies and stuff, let me just yeah. Which one's the local player? This one's the local player. And this one's the non-local player, so the other player on this part. So if I press the E key here, you can see his health updated. Okay, I can just show you that if I put this here. I keep pressing the E key, you can see his health is updating on this side. It's updating. This is I'm talking about this, the client which is running in this build. I'm checking his health in the editor. You remember, it's not ours in the editor, right? So I'm pressing the E key and his health is updating. It's going down, right? And now this goes both ways. Our health updates as well for the other one. If I can do the other way around. So if I just press that, this is just our local health, but it's actually updating on the other one, on the other side as well. So both the healths, they sync, they update. You can apply them right away to some basic UI. So pretty simple stuff, pretty fun as well. It's all how you basically sync stuff. It was a pretty simple tutorial. I have a completed version of the prefab here. Just switch to that, which has the UI and all set up. Just to quickly showcase, this was actually someone's idea. They thought it'd be a good idea to actually show off stuff on the start of the video, which I appreciate them for giving me that idea. I think it's a good idea. And it might keep people not so bored, even though most of the stuff which we cover is not that long. I mean, we just covered like just a little bit of stuff in a much longer period of time. But call it a course, right? Just call it a course, get away with it, right? So yeah, I'll be making tutorials, trying to make short ones, but I unfortunately can't. But yeah, I'll try my best to make tutorials. I just like to relax while making tutorials, you know, so I'm not going too fast. Usually I just go too fast. Anyways, that's about it. We're done with the tutorial. Anything other than this, which I will be talking about, is just unnecessary, or it could be helpful in some cases, but it's mostly not related to the tutorial, obviously. So yeah, we're done with the tutorial. I've got a VR headset. I've got my hands on one, and hopefully, perhaps I'll be making some VR related tutorials as well. Now I just gotta spice this video up with some memes. So yeah, that'd be great. I love editing the video with memes, even though my editing skills are absolutely shite. But hey, as long as it works, right? So, and we're done with this. Let's see. Let me know what I should cover next in the networking series or in the FPS series. I'm thinking about posting some updates, perhaps. Also, before we get into it, I just want to show you the UI script. So let's see. We've got the player UI script here. It's a really basic script. In fact, it's not connected to the player network at all. Like at all. I'm not talking about this one. There's a completed version of the player network. The player network script, however, is connected to the player UI script, but the player UI is not connected to it. It's just kind of weird, I know. So I've added some things here. You might not know what this is, but yeah, I'm not going to explain that right now in this tutorial, just for the sake of the time. But basically, it's let's say a magical way to play methods from a different script, right? We're just storing the method, you could say, in a sense, in a way, not exactly storing it, but yeah, and we're just calling it on the player UI script. The player UI script doesn't care whether the player network exists or not. Even if we delete the player network, it's not going to crash. It's not going to give us any errors, which is what you call decoupled code, even though it's still coupled. Decoupled is like, you know, you're keeping things separate, you're not mashing them up together. You don't have thousands of lines of code which are connected to each other, and as soon as you change one thing, you have to revise the entire code and go through the entire code and fix the errors, or like move the code or do this and do that. So decoupled code is quite an intermediate to advanced topic. Hopefully one day in the near future or the far future we'll be talking about that. It's a really interesting topic, to be honest, and it's really essential when you're making games, when you're building the code, and when you're making massive projects. You want to keep everything managed. Make sure it's not coupled strongly. So you want to update the game, you just change this one thing, okay, and that's it. You push the update to the users. You don't want to go ahead and revise the entire game just to add one feature into it, just to push that in. No. That's what we're going to do about the decoupled stuff. it's really interesting. I've made use of it a couple times before, a lot of times before, in fact. But yeah, I'm still really getting into it to make sure I can decouple almost everything, just keep it separated. But then again, you will have to couple certain things in certain cases. You can't prevent that, but that's about it. Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed. And let's get the VR chat thingy on if you guys want. You know, we can make tutorials there. We can just have fun there, and we can just discuss stuff there. You know, and maybe I can make videos in VR chat. I'm not sure if I should even make games. I mean, I love that game. I enjoy playing that game. It's been like 3 months since I've been playing it. I don't know. I feel like I'm losing life, but it's fine, I'm sure. Anyways, so I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Have a good one, and I kind of don't want to sign off, but because it's been so long since I've made a tutorial. But hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.